obsessed date wants to buy my love. And then it got creepy. They're trying to give you another golden shower. That's not the warm love that I need in my life. Or is it?
Hey, Vsauce.
I met this guy about 3 months ago. We'll call him Bob. Bob! Bob and I met on a dating app, and we hooked up. I made it clear from the start, I was just looking for hookups. Nothing serious. We had a good time, and I said I would like to keep hanging out as friends or friends with benefits. Big D got that big T. He said he was okay with this. Bob, for the next few weeks, he showered me in gifts constantly and admitted that he was into me. None of this is stuff I asked for, and I made it clear, Bob, I am not into you. Have you seen like the India memes where it's like send Bob? I made it clear I still wasn't into him, and I ain't gonna reciprocate. No gifts for Bob. Part of the gifts that he was given were really nice and expensive earrings. Ooh la la. And guess what, John?
What?
They were her favorite earrings.
I mean, pro move.
I feel like Bob has not taken a hint and has just turned himself into a sugar daddy.
He's really doing this to himself. This is Andrew Tate's villain origin story right here.
Then Bob started acting a bit obsessed and was demanding I text him every single day and return to him an equal amount of affection as he was giving to me. Something I made clear I don't want. Bob, she's not into you. No amount of diamond earrings is going to change that.
Bob's like, why can't you be my affection like slot machine?
I put in money. I get kisses back. What the heck? It is at this point I decided to break ties with him. OP, best move you made. Bob's getting the wrong idea, I think. I said that he clearly wanted more from me than I wanted to give him, which seems completely true. And that I wasn't going to change my mind no matter what he said or gave. Damn, she's laying it all at the table. But I feel like she said that before. Like she's been saying that like it seems like the entire
whole
relationship.
time.
I do actually have thoughts on friends with benefits relationships, but I'll leave that until the end. Later, we ran into each other at a play I was attending. And this is when he asked for the earrings back. Bob, petty move. Petty move. Come on.
Oh my God.
I know she broke your heart, but retain some kind of dignity, my man. He told me he'd spent a lot of money on them and he wanted them back to give them to someone who would actually return the favor. Bob, do you want some pretty earrings too? Bob wants some earrings.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yo, this is a low-class move, Bob. I said no, that I liked them and that he gave them to me. He should not ask them back just because he didn't get what he wanted out of our relationship. Facts, girl. You tell him. He got extremely angry and said I let him on. In what world? She literally said every single time, yo, I'm not into you. That he did so much for me and that I never gave him the time of day. He said I used him for his affections and his gifts and that I was a horrible person for doing this. At first, I was pretty certain I'm in the right, but after his blow up, I started questioning a bit more. Am I the a-hole? Okay, before we give our thoughts and opinions on this, please let us know, do you think Bob or OP is the a-hole or an angel? Whose side are you on? Please put it in the comments right now before you hear our, verdict so you're not swayed.
Spoiled. It's time to spoil him with the verdict.
The breakdown.
I think Bob is the a-hole. What can I say? It's just so hilarious when he's like, you made me buy this for you.
Yeah,
and it's like,
it's
bro,
giving
she
incel
didn't.
vibes, Bob.
She told you repeatedly exactly what she saw the relationship as, which was a casual, a not serious thing.
Yeah.
And you kept buying a good rule to live by is anytime you're dating a girl and you buy something for her, that is now hers. You can't just repo your own gifts that you gave her.
It's not classy. Once a gift has been given, it's very bad taste to take it back. However, okay. This is from a little bit from my own life, right?
Yes. Ooh.
So I have thoughts on friends with benefits relationships and just relationships that are hey, I'm just looking for something physical, right? So after I had a relationship for 2 years, we broke up. I was heartbroken, but I was just casually hooking up with people, right? But usually, even when I'm casually hooking up, I don't like casually hooking up with a bunch of people. I usually there's one person, friends with benefits kind of situation, right? And there was this girl who super cute, very nice, but I just wasn't in a place where I could just be a boyfriend. So I was like very clear with her from the beginning. I'm like, hey, I just broke up with a girlfriend of 2 years. I'm not in a place to like hop back into a relationship. This is just like, a more casual seeing each other. And I said that repeatedly about the relationship. However, me being an affectionate guy, like I was all like cutesy and snuggly and like, I cuddly and just like generally nice and would do like things for her and stuff. So even though I was saying I wanted to be friends with benefits, I was like acting a little boyfriendy, which is it's like essentially what I'm getting at is like you can say one thing, but you can lead someone on with your actions.
Right.
And
right.
It's very hard to, I think, be kind in a friends with benefits relationship and not lead the other person on. OP is definitely not in the wrong, but I do think that you open yourself up to these kinds of situations more when you like just engage in like one-on-one friends with benefits kind of relationships. At least that's what's happened a couple times in my own experience where like, someone always catches feelings or wants more from you than you're willing to give. And at that point, you kind of have to break it off, which OP did. It's like OP kind of like handled it appropriately. It's just so hard to like.
That's the thing. Like,
out.
Think about all the times people catch feelings when there is no like friends with benefits or anything going on. So it's like
exactly, people get crushes all the time.
Literally. So now you're adding in the factor that you actually are like hooking up and potentially having some like relationship-esque vibes going on, and then it's just like both people have to be so like blatantly clear, like this is the most no strings attached, which is also like the plot to every like cheesy love movie where it's like I'm a busy working woman in New York City and I don't got time for a relationship. and then they end up seeing each other.
So all rom-coms are setting up like friends with benefits relationships to fail.
Exactly.
So thank you, Matthew McConaughey, for not allowing us to just casually sleep with people without it turning into something else. It's a super tough scenario, but in my opinion, I think Bob is definitely an a-hole. I think OP was very clear, not a-hole behavior, but I do think, friends with benefits relationships are complicated, and just like be aware of that. They are complicated.
100%.
There's not a lot of ways around that. But John and I don't know anything. So like, hey, let us know what you think in the comments. Please, roast us or toast us.
This was a crazy story, but the next one, the surprise is not a broken off relationship. The surprise is the surprise birth of a baby.
Oh?
I might birth my baby at my sister's baby shower and steal the spotlight, but I have reasons. I, 23 female, am currently 8 months pregnant.
Yo, that's hella pregnant, bro.
Now, we had been keeping it a secret and planned to tell people around this time. But a few months after my pregnancy, my sister-in-law, 26 female, found out that she was pregnant, and then it just felt awkward to announce.
I feel like it's, wait a week and then announce it.
Yeah, it's not like sister announces pregnancy. I can never announce a pregnancy ever again. We just wanted to wait for the right time. So I've been married to my husband for only 6 months, but we've been together on and off since we were 14, but permanently together since we were 16.
Wow.
Dang,
son.
bro.
That's
That
a
is...
while, bro.
And when we were 17, I found out I was pregnant, but I had complications. I gave birth to a preemie stillborn at 25 weeks. So this pregnancy, we've been extra cautious and secretive.
I understand wanting to be a little bit secretive about if you're having a baby.
Yeah, so many people have multiple miscarriages. So.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I haven't seen family much these past few months, and I carry small, but I've developed cute little baby bump, and I've been wearing hoodies and loose clothing to
You're
cover
8
it.
months pregnant.
Little bump, like
How long was your mom pregnant with you?
10 or 11 months.
No way.
Yeah.
She was pregnant with you for 11 months?
I basically came out looking just like this.
Just like this with a full beard.
Now, we were hesitant on me going. I was just going to send my husband with a gift from me, but my sister-in-law said she really wanted me there, and so I decided to try my best to hide the baby bump and go. It was going well. No one was noticing.
Has she just gained a bunch of weight?
I mean, I got a few looks, but no one asked me anything. Then, about an hour in, I started having tiny cramps that eventually got more aggressive. I told my husband we need to leave and I need to go to the hospital. As we were walking, a sharp pain hit me and I grabbed the picnic table next to me and stumbled over, causing attention to myself. I really thought I was in labor. The pain was so intense. People started surrounding surrounding us, asking what the matter was. And my husband said, she's pregnant, guys, she's pregnant. Something's going on. We have to leave.
Oh, geez. At the baby shower.
So
Oh, no.
he ended up rushing me to the hospital. By the time we got to the hospital, my pains have subsided. They said it was a false labor. Then, this part is crazy. My husband and I both had angry texts from my sister-in-law and other guests at the party about us hiding the pregnancy, how messed up it was, and how they couldn't believe I showed up pregnant and was secret about it. And how I had this whole baby stunt at someone else's shower. Just a lot of not nice messages. No one asked if I was all right. Damn! Come on!
Before we get into it, let us know like who you think is the a-hole. Are there any angels in this story? And then we'll give you our take on the breakdown.
Let us know. All right, Sam, let's get into the breakdown. Is OP the a-hole or the angel or someone else?
So, like, all right, this is, please don't roast me too hard, guys. Like, I just don't know much about what's like the right thing to do when pregnant. So I could be totally wrong here, but it seems like 8 months is long enough for you to like tell your family at least what's going on. So like, I think it's a little bit weird to not say anything for that long. Like, I think your family should know, especially before the baby shower. You kind of did your like a little announcement at this baby shower. And I know it's not, it wasn't OP's fault or anything, but it's like if she had just said, hey, I'm pregnant, like a week after her sister had her announcement, I think a lot of like everything would have been fine. But dude, you're like 8 months pregnant. Like you should what are you going to tell your family? Like when the baby's born? But it's also, like it's not like she didn't intend to have like a contraction at this event. Yeah. So I think it's a little weird that she didn't tell her family, but it's also like, it's not her fault. She didn't mean to pull a stunt, you know? She wasn't doing it out of trying to grab attention. So I think OP is a little bit the a-hole for not telling her family and waiting for so long, but definitely not the a-hole for accidentally having, like a pregnancy complication at this baby shower.
Yeah. Ultimately, the family is the clear a-hole here, where it's like, okay, like, again, there's probably some opportunity to share the pregnancy earlier. Also, this is literally like her mom as well, I believe, in all of these texts. And I don't know. Oh, wait. It's the sister-in-law. So it's the in-laws and family, everything. But I'm like, are you not concerned? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, you should ask. Like, bro, she could have been serious, like, don't you care about her baby too? I feel like there could have been some things that OP could have done to make it a little bit better, but ultimately, like, it's not her fault that she had, contractions at this baby shower.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's nothing you can do. Again, it's like, I don't know if I call OP the a-hole, but like, it's like there's probably some sort of form of fashion of introducing it earlier, but ultimately it's like, what are you going to tell her? Like, stop having labor. Like,
yeah, exactly. And also, like, let's give another scenario. Let's say everyone knew she was pregnant and she's going to this thing. Would they still get mad at her?
Exactly. Like, that's the energy that I'm getting from them, honestly.
Yeah. But I also don't know about like does another pregnant woman come to a baby shower? Like, I think so.
I would have to imagine.
Like, it seems weird to get mad at her over this. But again, I'll fucking know. I would love to know what you guys think. Put it in the comments below, though.
Let us know.
Okay, we've been talking about these baby showers and who should or shouldn't be attending. But now let's talk about weddings where the father of the bride is thinking about not going.
Oh, goodness.
My daughter holds a grudge against me for the divorce. If only she knew the truth. My daughter, who is 27, is getting married in August. She hasn't invited my wife or our children, and I am very hurt. And I told her that since my family wasn't welcome, I shouldn't be welcome either.
Dang.
She was angry with me and has called me crying, saying that I am an a-hole for doing this to her, since who is going to walk her down the aisle? A little backstory. My daughter was a happy child until she was 13, and her mom and I divorced. She was devastated, and we did everything from therapy, etc. She couldn't fathom what was going on since we were a happy family. I met my beautiful wife 4 years later, and it was the second blow to her, since she lived with the hope that her mom and I would reconcile. She never liked my wife, even with the effort my wife showed later in the relationship. Now my wife and our small children aren't welcome at her wedding. Everyone else is, including her mom's new boyfriend and his sons. Maybe a little one-sided treatment over here.
Teensy bit imbalanced.
She told me that she was free to invite whoever she wanted on her big day, and I totally agree with her and support her decision. But then shouldn't I also be free to decline the invitation?
Ooh.
Am I the a-hole here?
Well, I mean, if you're gonna get me, like, you're gonna get my family. Like, this is a package deal over here.
Honey.
Yeah. So far, OP is the a-hole. I'm saying it.
Everyone in the comments, put who you think is the a-hole. Are there any angels here? Is everyone an a-hole? But there is an update. We're going to get into it. Thanks, everyone. As I expected, nobody is the a-hole here. I understand that my daughter doesn't like my family, and I wish that I knew how to tackle this situation earlier. I thought I was doing the right thing by giving her space. When my ex told me that she wasn't in love with me anymore and that she wanted to see other people, we got a divorce and we didn't tell my daughter the reason. Then my ex changed her mind a year later and wanted a reconciliation for the sake of our daughter. Everyone told me that we were meant to be together and that I should forgive her and take her, my ex, back, including my own family and friends. They said, for your daughter's sake, you got to do it. The thing was, I had fallen out of love with my ex by then, but nobody forgave me, and my daughter grew up listening to our family blaming me for the divorce.
Okay.
I always kept showing my daughter that she was my only priority, and with time, I even told her what really happened, hoping she would understand better how nuanced relationships are. Nobody was at fault, and both her mom and I loved her very much. I don't know how I failed there or what more I should have done so she wouldn't resent me the way she did and still does. When I met my wife, all my daughter's hope for her parents to be together was now gone, and she hated my wife. By then, she was already 17, and it was harder for both my wife and I to have a relationship with her. I didn't regret going against everyone when I didn't want my old marriage back, because I believed and still believe that it is my decision, and it is the right one. I'm sorry to say I'm going against everyone now, too, including my wife, and I'm not going to attend my daughter's wedding. She has made zero effort to have a relationship with me since she moved out. She has refused to meet her two brothers, and even now, she isn't that much interested in me attending as much as having her father walk her because it would be embarrassing otherwise. It's time my daughter learned that actions have consequences. To answer why my daughter doesn't have a beef with her mother's boyfriend, I can only speculate, but my ex met her partner a bit later in life. Had she met someone while both my ex and I were single and my ex had chosen to move on, my daughter probably would have blamed them for breaking her family instead. It just happened to be my beautiful wife that took the biggest chunk of the blame and resentment.
Damn.
Before John and I give our breakdown, OKOP gang, what do you think? Do we got any angels? Do we got any a-holes? Is everyone an a-hole? Tell us. What would you do? Put in the comments. John, what do you think?
I think it gets a lot trickier when it's like, it seems like the daughter doesn't want OP's wife for that reason.
If you're having a wedding, you get to choose who you invite.
Ultimately,
and who you don't
yes.
invite, right?
Yes.
Right? So what is the most charitable and nice thing to do? Like if she was an absolute angel, it would probably be to invite her dad's whole family and like try to rekindle some kind of relationship with her dad, just because her dad, you know, found love that wasn't her mom. Doesn't like she shouldn't hold a grudge against him for that, right? But I understand that it's very hard maybe to do that, especially when it happens young. So I think they're both being a little petty.
I would make it known, like, listen, I want the rest of my family to be here, but I'm also like, I don't think I would like to make a stand, like,
No.
you know, not go.
But it's not like who has the right to do something bad. It's like, how can we be the most good, right? I feel like both of these people are missing the bar a little bit.
Or we can floor the gas, and you know what?
Or an eye for an eye, baby. Let me stab an icicle in your freaking eye socket. Okay, but you know, John and I are just two people. Do you agree with what we said? Do you disagree? Tell us why, please. Toast or roast us. Take us down a notch. Cut our testicles off and put them in a jar of formaldehyde, if you so choose.
Or don't. Or you could pass on that.
My baby daddy is blackmailing me because I went into postpartum rage, but I have something up my sleeve.
So you hit him with the double whammy.
No, siree. Like a magician, she's doing some black magic.
I'm going to predict not the a-hole. Why not?
I, female 23, have a beautiful child and another one on the way. After I had my first child, I had really bad postpartum depression and postpartum rage. I've heard of postpartum depression. I've never heard of postpartum rage.
I like that. Like you just listening to metal all day, like, yeah.
Is that a thing, ladies? Can you please put it in the comments if I had no idea this exists. So I did some things that I'm not proud of, and I've spent years paying and making up for it. I spent years after this being made to comply to my baby daddy wishes, or else he was going to press charges for some of the things I did when I was going through that rough part of my life.
Oh.
It got to be insane on the demands, and to the point he had me living in fear. I recently contacted a lawyer to see if there's anything I can do. The lawyer said what he's doing is falling under the blackmail law, and he can legally no longer do anything due to his blackmailing. So I guess apparently if you're using something someone has done as blackmail, then you can't use that anymore?
That's wild, because he's saying like, oh, there's things that like I have a case for in court, and I could do those things, which he very well could, but him, I guess, like threatening to bring those to court is legally blackmail. Wow, this is I'm learning a lot on this episode. Yeah.
The lawyer took on the case and filed blackmail charges against him. His family found out and went off. I responded with, yes, I did some terrible things. I spent years paying my debt for them. I'm sorry for everyone that was affected by my actions, but I can't keep living in fear and have him controlling me. I have kids to think about. Also, I see a therapist on a regular basis, and I'm on depression medicine, which helps a lot. I was never endangering my child. I would lash out, yell, call him names, push people away. I attempted to unalive myself a few times, and I locked him out of the house saying I no longer wanted him in my life. There was never anything physical. A good bit of people agree I have paid my debt for my wrongs, the people who were affected, and the only ones upset about this is his family. So, am I the a-hole?
Tough one.
John's about to get into the breakdown, but before he does, I want you guys to let me know what you think. You know, is OP being the a-hole? Is the baby daddy being the a-hole? Is this lawyer being an a-hole like all lawyers are? Just kidding. There's some good lawyers out there. But John, what do you think?
I don't know. This one's really hard. She gave some insight as to like what she did during her postpartum rage, as she mentioned. I don't know. This one's so hard to call, honestly, for me, because it's like, what exactly did she do, like in detail? Like, did she harm anybody?
Yeah, and like, what is he using as the blackmail? You know, like we need to know what he's using as a blackmail first, and like what she actually did. Also, what is he making her do? Like, what are the requests? Yeah. That's the other thing, and also like, so it sounds like they're like using this in terms of like custody and things like that. Like he wants more custody. I don't know, man. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think I'm split on this one. Yeah, I agree.
I feel like we don't necessarily have enough information to like make a decision yet.
I agree. It's just too unclear.
Yeah. If I had to make a decision, I would say to blackmail her is probably an a-hole move. I feel like it probably made sense for her to go to a lawyer eventually. But again, I don't like, you know, it's hard to make a decision if we don't know all the information.
100%. Or if we can blindly make decisions and
let's actually just blindly make a decision and just rumble about. Blind decision making. No consequences.
I think my husband is cheating on me because he played rock, paper, scissors with his coworker.
Baby, that's a rock and a hard place right there. I might be rock hard just thinking about it. Ooh, baby.
Oh, God. You can really cut through the tension in this situation.
Oh, yeah. You can scissor your way to my heart, if you know what I'm saying.
My husband works with mainly older women. He's 24.
Ooh,
cougar alert, am I right? But he does have a coworker that is around his age. For some reason, I feel very jealous when he brings her up. He tells me not to worry and to trust him. He always says that she's like a bro to him.
Just a bro, dog. Just bro it down, my lady girl.
Bro it down, yeah.
Yeah, baby.
And he says that one day he's going to ask her to come over so that way I can meet her. That way I can get to know
and marry her.
Oh, yeah, you'll meet her at our wedding.
4 weddings and a funeral. That's basically the plot of that movie.
Really?
I just watched that recently, and it's great. Hugh Grant is in it.
I want OP to be like, hey, I have to tell you something. I'm like the partner comes home and like, hey, I gotta tell you something. I'm getting married to the girl from work, and we're having the wedding right now.
Best man.
Right now. Like, go get out of your work clothes, get into wedding attire, because this is happening.
Please, this is important.
My husband ambushed me by marrying his coworker.
And inviting me to the wedding?
Oh my god, that would be a saucy story. Oh my gosh, maybe that's what's in store. We'll see.
Yeah. That's my prediction for this episode.
There we go. But I still feel really insecure. Today, I felt like it was my breaking point. We have this thing where we play rock, paper, scissors to see who is going to do something. For example, take the clothes out of the dryer. I think it's kind of a childish haha thing, but we've done this since we were dating. It makes us laugh when the other person loses, and I just felt like it was our thing, you know?
Yeah, rock, paper, scissors is only your thing.
No one can ever play rock, paper, scissors except for you.
Except for you. You are original. I think OP might have invented the game of rock, paper, scissors.
Dude, Sam is just laying down the law, ladies and gentlemen. No rock, paper, scissors.
Yo, I'm just saying, I've played rock, paper, scissors. I don't know if it's that.
Ooh.
I don't know if it's that cute or special, but whatever.
Well, today we had our match of rock, paper, scissors, and he won. So I just started laughing. And then he said, Linda is so dumb. I always beat her too when we play.
Oh man, why you mentioning Linda like that, baby?
Oh, you trying to do what?
Coworker.
You did what with your hands around Linda?
Oh, you're banging on Linda all the time with that fist.
What is that slapping sound I keep hearing when you're around Linda? Oh dear. I immediately stopped laughing and asked him, does he play with her too? That was a terrible way to phrase that, OP. I'm sorry. You walked into that one.
Do you play with Linda?
You knew this was going to be on OKOP. You knew, and you knew where we were going to go with that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, she knew.
He said he did it, and it's no big deal. He saw that I was upset because my face just completely changed. And he said he always plays with everyone, even his guy friends.
Oh, he's playing both teams. Okay, I see where you're at.
You want to rock, paper, my scissors, bro?
He's rocking all his bros for sure.
Oh, gosh.
Everyone plays rock, paper, scissors. I don't know if you've ever seen any Mr. Beast video, but he literally played rock, paper, scissors for like $100,000. And I bet you OP's just watching that and getting like her mind blown. It's like, other people are playing rock, paper, scissors.
I get this one though, because like so it's very rare that you play rock, paper, scissors with someone else like on a regular basis. And that's like, I can see that. I can see that. You know, it's like a song.
I played rock, paper, scissors with my homies. It's rock, paper, scissors. Come on.
I felt super betrayed. I thought that this was our thing. I was so upset. I just started crying like a little girl. He told me he plays with everyone, not just her. And he tried to hug me and make me feel better, but I wasn't having it. He told me it was special when he plays with me. I don't know if I'm exaggerating. I understand that it's a very common game to play, but I just felt so betrayed in that moment. I feel like I can no longer play this game the same way with him because it just won't feel special anymore. Is it my fault for making this false thing in my head where I thought it was just our thing? Am I exaggerating? Sam, I know you want to dive in. I got to ask our peoples, the OK gang, please, you tell us below in the comments, is OP the a-hole, the angel? What would you do? What do you think about the situation? Let us know. Sam, the breakdown.
Oh, God. I mean, it's rock, paper, scissors, bro. Like, I mean, I play rock, paper, scissors with everyone, too. And also, I just feel like, you know, people have work friends of the opposite sex. Like, that's fine. Like, don't be so insecure about it. Like, it's, I don't know. I think like people, I feel like generally in the internet culture is like, oh, like you can't have friends of the opposite sex or you're like cheating or whatever. Or if like you're close to someone with the opposite sex and you're cheating. And I just don't subscribe to that. I don't think that's the case. I think people should be more secure in their relationships and be okay if someone plays rock, paper, scissors with their freaking coworker. And that's my 2 cents.
I, for one, am pro raging insecurities. You know what? My flag is in the sand, Sam. Raging insecurities are
the win.
Just a beautiful
Raging
thing.
insecurities are in. Being a stable, consistent relationship is out. That's so 2022.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
Disgusting. I don't know. What do you think, John? I don't think it's that big of a deal.
So yeah, the one small bit of pushback I will give is like, I understand it being her thing, but I don't know that it's like that much of a reason to be upset about. You know what I mean? Like, oh, some things are song, you know what I mean? And like couples recognize that that's their song, but they, you know, wouldn't necessarily get mad if someone of the opposite sex is like, oh my God, I love this song. You know what I mean? Like I would not encourage that type of reaction, but I get why it's special thing between the two of them.
I get why she thinks it would be special. I don't think she should be mad about it though. Like I feel like she should.
Yeah.
But maybe she's like, this is representative of like her just
of something else.
Something else is up, you know?
Ooh,
this is just like a manifestation of her like, oh, like, is he cheating with Linda? He does talk about her a lot, but that's like, you talk about new friends a lot too. Like that's normal.
Given that he is in a workplace where everyone is like way older than him, and this is like one person who's in his age range, like that to me sounds very plausible, very possible that it's just like I just like relate to this person versus all the grannies, all them cougars
out here. I don't know. I think OP's overreacting a little bit. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think.
My doctor exposed me for having an affair to my wife. This has to be a violation.
You know, what if you like getting violated?
Ooh, what's that your kink? What if that's your kink, baby? Kinky kink. Ooh.
Not my HIPAA records. I would say I'm predicting a-hole.
A-hole from OP?
From OP.
Or for doctor? Oh.
Nah.
Well, let's see what happens.
Doctor's letting it shoot. I like it.
All right. This is sort of a sensitive topic, but I still could use some legal advice. My wife and I have been married for 20 years with kids. And all the normal trappings of suburban married life. For the last years, my wife and I have an explicitly defined open marriage. We have both had a series of outside partners, and we have both stayed within those rules. In the last several years, I've gone outside of the bounds of our open marriage and started dating men. And for the last 3 years, I have been monogamously seeing one specific man, who, including my wife, is my only sexual partner. My male partner, however, is not monogamous, and so protection is always on my mind. In general, I keep my personal business completely separate from my family business. I travel frequently and have a private office that supports my career, and so bills, documents, etc. are routinely sent to my office where I have privacy and control of them. We, the family and I, have a small practice concierge doctor who we pay an extraordinary amount atop of the normal insurance bill amounts and all that. As a result, this doctor is a little bit chummy with my wife and older kids. I have always been transparent with the doctor about my health concerns, needs, treatment goals, etc. She was not aware of either of our open marriages.
Oh dear.
Or the fact that I'm doing it with dudes. She has never complained about ordering an STD panel or anything else that is typical of a monogamous married couple. But I presumed that that was because my wife was also having the test done, and so she would use her brain to deduce that we were having other sexual partners.
Okay.
Anyway, several months ago, I spoke to the doctor about going on a form of PrEP, right? Which is like anti-HIV medication. And she went absolutely bonkers on me. For one thing, I found out that she is a strict Christian of some sect or another. And also she let me know that because I was considering this treatment, I must be putting my wife at risk, and therefore she had a legal duty to inform her. She also specifically said she would never support F slurs by prescribing that poison.
Oh my God.
Yeah, doctor's going off, bro.
Wow.
The doctor would not hear any objections, and we both left the consult angry and red-faced. Immediately following that visit, I was out of town for about 9 days. When I returned, these are the steps I found out the doctor had taken. 1. She had changed my mailing address from my office to my residence and ordered copies of my health records and billing records sent to the home. They were addressed to Mrs. and Mr., and the records were only my own. She told my legally adult age oldest daughter in her office that I was cheating on her mother. She told my wife that I wanted to go on prep, and she discharged me as a patient, but not my wife or kids. I reviewed copies of my documentation from when I became a patient of this doctor, and my HIPAA release specifically blocked sharing of information to anyone, and my emergency contact is my brother. All events take place in Florida. My question is, did this doctor breach her duty as she claims? Is there some sort of exception? Additionally, I understood that she can discharge me as a patient for any reason, but I presume a doctor can't discriminate on the basis of sex or other legally protected classes. This one is less important to me because I would not remain in her care, but it does strike me as unfair that I paid a large $40,000 annual renewal fee to her office. I would like it to at least be refunded my pro-rate share of that fee. Thanks in advance. So, John, I want to know who you think is the a-hole here. Who you think is the angel? What would you do? Put in the comments what you guys think is going on in this story. What do you think the doctor is doing? Is it in line? Is it out of line? What about OP? But John, what do you think?
Wow. I'm flipping my prediction big time because this doctor is insane. For $40,000 for a doctor, she's homophobic as fuck, and that is, I was wondering, like, is it like in a different instance where there wasn't like an open marriage and all this stuff? If someone comes, I mean, I guess it is technically none of a doctor's business, but it looks like the law is you cannot go, because not against the law to cheat, I guess. I don't know. I was just like,
no.
This is just my brain was melting out of my ears with this story.
I feel like it's 100% discrimination. Also, a slight update is just to clarify. So there was a thing where, like, you know, the doctor was like, oh, like, you're endangering my other patient, your wife, by possibly getting STDs and spreading it to her, right?
Right.
So just to clarify, if you carefully read my post, I've been monogamously seeing one specific man who, including my wife, is my only sexual partner. You will see that I have not been sexually active with my wife since before our open marriage started. She is not a sexual partner of mine.
I see. Okay, so they're not even having sex. So basically, there isn't a risk to, in fact, I guess as long as they don't do it. Yeah, okay.
So the doctor is just completely going out of line.
Oh, just insane. Also, $40,000 a year for a private doctor?
I know. That's insane, bro.
What do they do for work?
What, these people?
Yeah.
OP? I don't know, man, but they seem pretty smart. I mean, the post is well
Got a
written.
private office, apparently, to send
but obviously not a private lawyer.
Yeah, that's true. Some other high-paying.
Yeah, they gotta go to Reddit for that.
That is actually super hilarious. What would you do in this situation? Like, this is.
I mean, I would get a lawyer. I mean, like, it's for sure a HIPAA violation to do this. Although the doctor is 100% the a-hole, I feel like OP is a little bit the a-hole for going outside of what he said he was going to do in the open marriage. I don't know what the rules are, but he said he broke the code within the open marriage, and he's kind of being secretive from his wife and stuff. So I feel like, that's a little bit shitty, but legally speaking, you know, he's chilling, I think. But yeah, the doctor, total a-hole move. Although I do believe the doctor is doing what she thinks is right, even though she's incredibly misguided by what that actually is.
But also, it's like you get to a certain person who's like, they believe something right, but it's the self-righteousness, you know what I mean? It's even at a complete vindictive angle, in addition to being so wrong.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous.
I mean, Sam, this is a complete mess, but we have a story with another messy family situation.
Okay, let's see this mess.
I called my father-in-law's stepdaughters human garbage, and he said I was the a-hole, but I can explain.
Explain away, please.
Listen, Sam, this is an explanation coming straight from our very own subreddit r/OKOP show.
Oh, dang, the best subreddit on planet Earth. Please, if you have a juicy story, submit it to us and we will read the top stories of the week.
That's right. And this one is coming from Woody2064. So thank you for your story, Woody. Let's get into it. Many years ago, when my wife was pregnant with our daughter, she had a severe case of hypermesis, which is morning sickness all day, every day. Oh, that sounds awful. There were many times when she was admitted to the hospital for dehydration and malnutrition, as she would literally vomit everything she tried to consume. She had to have a port put in to have a constant supply of nutrition. Her father, Bob, really wasn't around all that much for various reasons. The drive was too far, 30 miles, too far to see your sick pregnant daughter, Bob.
Come on, Bob.
Excuse me, but I guess there's other various reasons. Even after we offered gas money and or a ride, he would always have an excuse as to why he couldn't see her.
Come on, Bob. Be better.
Come on, Bob. During one of the times she was in the hospital with a blood infection, it was during Easter. I called Bob and asked if he could come visit his daughter in the hospital, this time just 15 miles from his house. He said, "I'm busy." And I lost it. He was taking most of what I said pretty well, considering all the stuff I was calling him, and he even agreed to some of it. But when I said you would rather spend time with your trash criminal stepdaughters and their crack babies than you would your own flesh and blood who could die from this serious situation was BS.
Damn. Laying in.
OP, tell us, could you just be honest with us and tell us how you actually feel? I mean,
Yeah.
Good
Why are you mincing
God.
words here? Why are you being such a politician?
that apparently was the line that got this guy to feel anything. I crossed the line, so I did what any newlywed 22-year-old would do and hung up on him before he could speak his piece. I heard through the grapevine I heard through the grapevine how mad he was and how he was going to beat me up. Oh, God.
Oh,
but
shoot.
guess what? He showed up to the hospital to see his little girl, and that made her happy. So end results achieved. My goodness. Sam, I very much want to hear your opinions.
That was a roller coaster of emotion right there.
My God, it really was. Guys, I want to know what you thought about this roller coaster. Is OP the a-hole, the angel? There's a lot to unpack here, so please tell us what you think and what you would do. Samuel,
Okay.
the mic is yours.
OOP is low-key the MVP. Like the ending worked out perfectly. Right? Like he kind of helped out, the pregnant lady and saved the day like a superhero.
Probably the one fault I would give for OP is like I think there was plenty of ammo to let loose at the dad, which I guess the dad was like taking it in stride or whatever, but like to go maybe bring the other people into it was maybe a little uncalled for.
Yeah, maybe like
but
center
then
it just on the dad,
Yeah.
that ass whooping,
Yeah.
that verbal ass whooping.
Yeah. I mean, the silver lining of it is that it did ultimately get the result, which, like, I mean,
Yeah,
OP's
his wife
poor
got
wife,
her
dude.
dad there. I know.
Yeah,
I know,
like
but
this poor woman is
I'm
just
like-
going through it.
I feel good though that OP is like strong enough and tough enough to like look out for his wife.
That's so true.
Like it's like silver lining, but does suck a ton.
Yeah. Probably when you're pushed that far, like this father sounds awful.
Piece of work.
And knows
Piece of work.
And knows it,
Yeah,
apparently.
he knows he's a piece of shit.
It really does.
But
Just
you
saying.
know who else is a piece of shit? Not you guys. So please hit that like button if you're not a little cuckbag and leave a comment about what you thought. We love you dearly and we'll love you even more if you submit any of your beautiful stories to r/OKOP show.
Do it.